Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we learn how to automate with the system we made. Hopefully you guys are ready. Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing some really fun stuff with refined storage. We're going to be trying out some automation. We're definitely going to be getting the solderer automated, or the processes for the solderer automated, just to allow us to be able to craft all of the processors and stuff like that a little bit easier, and it'll make automation a little bit easier for us later on. But before we do that, you do notice that we do use a lot of silicon. Silicon is just something that gets used quite a bit. I mean, you just can't help it. We're going to have to make this stuff, and to do that, to make it really easy, the material Stonework Factory, which we got the pink slime for earlier, this is going to really help out with that. So let's just go ahead and get this thing made. It's really simple to make. You just need an iron pick, really, that machine casing, and everything else. And we'll go ahead and make the Stonework Factory. You need a bucket of water. I think I have just about everything except for probably the crafting grid. And there we go. Bam. We have the material Stonework Factory. As you can see, it's pretty cheap. Just requires that pink slime, which we've already gathered. As you can see, you get that from this lovely process over here that we had going on. And look at that. We got a bunch of pink slime still gathered up over here. Which reminds me, I do want to get my meat, which it is in here somewhere. It's pretty low. I've already... It's been used quite a bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep that on this for today's episode. I think we might run out probably by the end, but oh well. I have some of this Ursa. I think it's Ursa, is how you pronounce it. Some nice strawberries. I think it said strawberries that taste like pineapple or something like that. Can't remember. They said it tasted like a bunch of different other fruit. But anyways, we have this going on because we're gonna need a bunch of advanced processors today. And then we're also going to set up the Stonework Factory. So let's go ahead and set that up first. And we'll just hook it here so it has some power. This is temporary. It's not going to stay here. What you want to do is set this to the pickaxe. Actually, we'll start down here. Set this to the pickaxe, set this to the pickaxe, and set this to the pickaxe. And then we'll just clear it all out. And it's going to go down here, and it's going to just create silicon for us. So we have silicon infinitely. It's just using power. So we'll continue to have silicon there endlessly, basically. There's nothing, nothing we really have to do. It's just going to work. That is it. How nice is that? So we'll just keep an eye out on this and use it as we need it, especially for today's episode. I think we're going to, have this covered for the most part. I did make a room back here, and this is where a lot of our automation stuff is going to go for this. And a lot of stuff is going to be set up and automated back there. It shouldn't take too much to do all this stuff. But we're definitely going to get the solderer set up today, show you guys how the basic mechanics of automation works with the refined storage, and do some stuff like that. So I am going to need an importer to import into the system. We're also probably going to get into the external storage today as well. We could probably make that here in just a second. I think we have everything to go ahead and make the external storage, so we can kind of cover that now. I'm gonna go ahead and get one of those. This is what I really like about the storage system. It's just so much smoother than all your other storage systems. The chests, we are out of chests, and automating chests will be really nice as well. Chest, there we go. And that's where that saw is really going to come in handy, because we're going to be able to automate wood. Ooh, I grabbed the wrong kind of chest, did I not? Wow. Okay. We should be able to craft them, right? Yes. So this what this is going to do is going to make it a little bit easier on us with crafting, or with our storage. It's going to make it so that we can hook up our other storage, any kind of storage container, to this and have access to it. I would like to make 2 of them, but we'll worry about that later, and I'll explain why. Because eventually I'm going to hook this system I'm going to hook it to the bottom of that controller, and it'll show all of these items in my system, and then we can automate from them, which is exactly what I want to do, which will be perfect. So now that that's out of the way, you can see that I have 5 solderers. One's in here. We're going to need 5 to automate this process today. So that's what you're gonna need. So you can go ahead and get those done. But what I'm gonna do, go ahead and take this. I can just pick it up now, carry it over here, and that's because I can have it over here. So I'll go ahead and pick that guy up, place that down. We'll go back here, and we can go ahead. I think I can access from the back. Yeah, grab a cable. We'll hook the cable to the back, and back here we'll pop on that storage. And of course we'll have our cables running right here. And now this storage, this entire storage, is in here. And look at that. We can access all of our items that were in here. And yeah, it just works perfectly fine. And these are actually cheaper. These modular storage are a lot cheaper than what we have inside here. But what I want to do first is set this to high priority. I think you can do priority on here, right? Priority, set it to priority 10, set. So what will happen is this will fill up before this does. I want this to be the main inventory that things go in and out of. So whenever we pull items out, such as these quartz, these are duralium, I keep saying duralium, duraluminum, I don't know why I cannot pronounce that. You can see that this has 284. We actually just pulled that out of this storage. We place them in now, 285, 286, 287. So it is actually going into this storage before going into here. So that's exactly what I want. And that's going to make things a little bit easier. And we can extend on here. And like I said, you can actually hook this to a drawer controller. You can hook it to any storage, really. And it will act as if it's part of the network, which is perfectly fine and exactly what I want. I think what I may end up doing, just to hide some of these cables later on, is run this underneath. But I mean, I am going to have cables running in here. This is not a room that's going to be meant to just walk in and be like, oh yeah, this is pretty. No, this is going to be a room that automation is going to take place in for this mod. And this wall is going to be hiding everything. So I want everything hidden. And I just want to be able to see this crafting grid. And just see the crafting in our pattern grid and stuff that we're going to make today. So that's my plans. I hope that works. And it should definitely work. Now, because I'm in the mode I'm in auto scale and I'm at 1080p. It does scale up my stuff pretty large. So the size, you can change it. Look at that. So I like to actually set it here because, you know, beforehand I would have my search bar in the center. I've kind of gotten used to it being on the side, simply because a lot of mods and stuff, they don't like it being in the center. So with 1.12, I've been leaving it to the side now, and I'm actually kind of used to it being down here. So now I can actually create and set this to medium. If I set it here, though, it's too large. And if I set it here, it's kind of too small. So I like to set it to medium, and it doesn't remove anything. I can still see everything. It just gives me more sight here in my search bar. So that's another thing you can kind of look into doing. I don't know how you guys have your stuff set up, but for me, having it large, I kind of like seeing that. All right, and you can also sort by quantity, name, ID, last modified, which is actually kind of interesting that they've added that. I don't remember that being there. And then inventory tweaks, which is sorted by, I think, ID number based on the mod dev, or based on the pack dev, as the items are, as the item numbers are listed. So yeah, they've added a lot of stuff since I've used this. Some people like it set to quantity. I honestly like it set to name. I don't know. All depends. And then you have descending and ascending. Normal display, you can display non-craftables, craftable only. We'll get into that later. And then you can set your redstone signal and stuff like that, so you can turn this thing on or off. And then you can actually synchronize your search box. So you can do JEI synchronized. So it searches over here whenever you're searching up there. Or you can do JEI synchronized auto selected, which if you search here, I think, and you leave, it still stays here. And if you search here and go back in, this will change, and you can change the stuff here and so on. And I think it'll also let you search over here as well without messing this up. So yeah, I don't remember. I think it's auto-selected that I like. JEI auto-selected is the one I like. So then I can actually come down here and search. I don't remember. It's one of them. But I'll figure it out. Normal, auto-selected. I don't remember. I'll just leave it at auto-selected for right now. Because sometimes you have to search for items, but I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get ready to automate. All right, so now that we're in refined storage, we should be able to make a few things, such as the importer, which is going to import items into our system, which is what we're going to need in conjunction with our crafter, which is going to insert items into our adjacent inventories that we're going to set to automate. And then we're also going to need the pattern grid, which is what we're going to use to actually make our patterns. So we're going to need another grid, which will need a machine casing. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Pattern, we'll just go ahead and make our regular grid first. Looks like we need another construction core. And there's our grid. And our pattern grid is an advanced processor with a pattern. So let's go ahead and make a pattern. And we'll go ahead and grab an advanced processor. If you middle click on here, you pick up one item at a time. Of course, you right click, you'll pick up half a stack. If you right shift click, it'll drop the half stack in your inventory, stuff like that. But if you want to pick up one item at a time, it's middle click on your scroll wheel. Just in case you didn't know. I didn't know, so I had to look it up. So anyways, that's how you do that. And then we can just take that and throw this into a solderer for right now. And that should process up for us. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and get an importer. Need more of these instruction cores. We're going to get these guys automated for sure this episode, because I really want those cores automated. So the importer is going to import into our system. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to need a few of them. I think we're going to need 5. Because we have 5 solderers, we're going to need 5 importers. So let's get those made. I think I need 4 more of those. 4 more of the cores, and our importers just need cables. 5 importers into the system. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and break this down, because I don't need these guys. Oh, actually, this was already done. The pattern grid was done in there. So now we have the pattern grid. So let's go ahead and take that, and we're going to place this up here for our pattern grid. There we go. That's all connected, and everything's looking good. I think we have some cobbler stone. Say I gotta have some of that mosaic stone just laying around so I can cover the stuff up for now. There we go, because we're missing our solderers. And then let's figure out where we want to place these guys to be automated. That is the thing. I think I might place them on this side wall over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we can do that. We can set it up over here. Set it up right here so they are all actually getting power. So they'll be setting to the back here. Like that on the back wall. There'll be importers on the bottom. And on top will be our crafters. Okay. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and make some crafters now. And the crafters are kind of expensive. They require these advanced processors and the construction cores, and we're going to need 5 of these guys a piece. So just keep that in mind. The crafters are not something that's that cheap. And then throw that in the inventory. And hopefully we have enough of the advanced processors. Oh, and we're going to need 5 machine casings. Oh, what am I missing? I'm missing stone. Regular stone. Let's go ahead and grab some of that. I actually was just making a bunch of stone, which is kind of convenient. I had to use a bunch to finish the walls in there. So we got that done. Perfect. See, unlike the other crafting table, you can actually throw your items in here and make your pattern, and this guy will work, unlike the refined storage version. Okay, so now that we have that done, we'll go back to refined storage. Grab our lovely crafters, which we should have enough now to make 5 of them. Perfect. And then let's get into this pattern grid. Now we have a processing tab and we have an ore dictionary tab. Processing, ore dictionary. So this is for your regular crafting grid crafts. This is for your cross machine crafts, where you're going to be sending items to be processed. So that's what we're going to be working with, is our process stuff. This might get a little confusing. We're gonna work on it. So we're gonna need iron. We're gonna need gold. Not in our inventory. We do have some gold though. We will throw this over here. So we need one piece of iron, gold. We're gonna need every single bit of items required to craft this stuff. So let's grab our gold. We're gonna need diamond. There we go. And silicon, or silicon. I always correct myself. I'm gonna take one of these for later because this is what we're gonna actually need. Let's go ahead and set this up. Basic processor. We can go into refined. And actually have one of every little piece. So we got the basic, the iron printed. We have the one that's turned into the approved and the advanced. And then we actually need our plain old silicon that we're going to use right there. Awesome. And then we're also going to need the redstone. And then over time, we're going to make every single one of them, every single bit of every single one of the processors. So let's go ahead and get some patterns made. That's something we're actually going to need. And it's probably not how it's spelt. There we go. There's our patterns. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3. I think we need 7 patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 different patterns for this. I do believe that is everything. All right, so let's get this started. 1 iron is going to equal 1 basic processor when processed. Let's go ahead and set our pattern, and then we're going to craft that. I don't think you need to have the ore dictionary on. Iron is iron, and I don't think any mod changes that. So I'm not worried. If you hold shift, you can actually see the pattern that we're creating. So I'll set that there. Okay. Clear this out by holding shift. And then we'll do 1 gold equals 1 processor. We'll craft that out as well. Hold shift to clear that out. Diamond to the processor. Bam. Now we have all those set up. Then we also need to set up our silicon. 1 silicon equals 1 printed silicon. There we go. That will go in 4 individual solderers. So we'll have 4 individual solderers set up to that. Now, we're going to have 1 processing solderer. You can also click the clear to clear out everything as well. And that solderer is actually going to get 3 separate patterns in its own self, in its own crafter. So that pattern is going to be, if I set it up correctly, 1 printed. Actually, we need 1 of each. So I need to make sure that I have 1 of each of these that are processed. Just like that. Ready to go. Okay, so we'll set up this. Let's go ahead and do this guy. You don't have to put it in any particular order. It just needs to have the items in it. And then that. So this is going to equal the basic processor. So there's that. And I want to set them up like this. And then we're going to clear that. We're going to work on the gold. It's going to get a redstone and that. And that's going to equal the improved processor. And then last but not least is our diamond one. Diamond, redstone, printed silicon there. And that's going to equal an advanced processor. And there's all of our patterns for that. Okay, so now we can throw all of these back in our system because we don't need them. We just need our crafters, importers, some cable, and that's about it. And those are pretty much automated. So our crafters. I think we might actually need some blocks to stand on. Why not some of these? Just to place down our crafters. If we need to rotate them, there is a way to rotate them. Looks like we're going to have to do that regardless, because they are facing the wrong way. So, we need a wrench. Let's go ahead and take our wrench. And we're going to hold shift and rotate these blocks till they're facing down like that. Perfect. Just like that. I don't know if they're receiving power. That is something that I don't know. They should if they're connected to this, but I don't know exactly. Okay, and then we'll have the importers. You know they import whenever they're facing down like an arrow pointing into the importer pipe, pointing into your network pipe. And they should import just as a hopper was on the bottom, because these accept from all sides, including the top, and will auto insert into the right slots. And then this only, you can't insert items from the bottom, you can only pull items from the bottom, and it only pulls from this slot. So that's something little, that's how you set up for the auto, that's how you set up for these guys. Now, for our patterns, let's just go ahead and do this. We'll set this pattern in here and set a pattern in each one, but only for these specific patterns. And then this one will get the last 3. And now we should have craftable items in here. We should. And they should work. We'll find out whenever, if we can actually see the craftable items, we can go to only craftables. And yes, it is receiving power because it is showing us that these are the items that can be crafted. Perfect. I think if you hold Alt, no, I don't remember what the button is to be able to auto craft them from in here. But as you can see now, I can say craft 10 and start. It'll tell me that the stuff is available. I can hit start and it should be crafting into this slot, I think. Even though they're already made, so it's actually, it should be processing them. No, it's making the silicon for them. Then it should process, I believe. I hope everything's working right. Because that is this one. I think it won't insert anything into here until it has all the silicon required. I think. It already has the nuggets. So let's see. It's making those. It already has these. And there's already redstone in the system. Just verifying this is all going to work. Okay, it didn't put it in here. And that could be... well, it made them. Okay. Let me try taking these out. Like this. Now it'll do the full craft. Okay. And we should start seeing everything being processed here. Those are being processed. There it goes. Okay, yeah, now everything's working. Everything's doing good. Now we just need to upgrade these with some speed upgrades and everything will be fine. All right, so let's get into some normal crafting where we can just craft simple crafting recipe items so we don't have to handcraft them every time. One good thing to craft whenever you're doing automation is to get the patterns, the pattern set up right here. Get those auto-crafted first. It makes a lot of sense to do that. And I do believe if you have this set to non-processing mode, you can click on the pattern and you can move items here and you can actually do it without having the items in your inventory. It's actually really handy. But first, I mean, we are going to need a pattern so we can actually make this pattern. But yeah, if you say you want to set this up and you're like, oh, or actually this guy right here, like, oh, I want to set that up. You can actually do this. I don't have any of these items. I don't have this storage monitor, but I can still click that and get those placed in there and have these items set up to be automated. Pretty handy. But the pattern is what I want. Let's throw the pattern in there. Bam. Now we can actually make patterns, but we need to throw them in a pattern chest, or need to throw them in a crafter. Now, the cool part about the way these crafters work is if they're connected to the network and you're doing a standard craft, not a process like this, because the process, of course, it takes the items that it makes and it outputs it to the face that is facing down. It actually outputs the items into the adjacent inventory. And then you need some kind of pipe to pull it back into the system. Well, if these guys are connected to the system like they are, and you say, I want to place this, which I'm actually going to keep, all of these crafters can be used as normal crafters, even if they have processes in them. I'm going to use all of these for crafting refined storage stuff, because I find that the easiest thing to do since they are already hooked up to the refined storages. So I can put that pattern crafter in there, and we know that we have no patterns. And we can go to our only craftables, and I can say, I want to make 10 patterns. I start that, and look how many patterns are generated. That's right. It does work, and it works perfectly. And it's so nice. We've already made 5 of them, and I mean, a lot of them have nothing in them. They only have this one thing. As long as you leave that there, everything will be fine. But they are connected because the solderers are connected, and everything is just one central unit, just all connected together. That's why I love refined storage so much compared to AE. You don't have to worry about channels. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right now, this is like 20 separate items that would be connected to an applied energistic system. And you're only allowed 8 items per channel. And you would have to have either a controller or have some dense cables. This is so much better. I prefer this a lot more. You can see, though, the more stuff we add, the more power usage it's going to take. Right now, this system is consuming 50 RF per tick, or as you can see, FE, which is the equivalent to RF. And it's consuming that for right now. Now, I am running on the new version of Exoria. And if you guys are playing at this point, if you watch this, you can't do this anymore. This block is gone. So, no worries. You guys can't actually make the mana flex field. I'm using it for right now until I get a better method of generating some more power. I mean, I do have this method, of course, which is still viable. I'm trying to think of some of the other changes that were changed. There was a change that allowed the ore. If you look at the ore, I'm pretty sure there was a certain ore that was added, so that way you guys can complete some of this stuff. And it had to do with I don't know. It had to do with the future pack. It was one of the ores that I found, and then the magnet ore, which you get from a tier 3 void miner, is unhidden now, where it was hidden before. Some things like that. Some mods were updated as well. But man, yeah, we can get some things automated. Speed upgrades, those help out significantly. So we can throw some speed upgrades in here. I'll take my patterns, I'll throw them in here. By the way, you can set this to craftables only. And I kind of like to do that, have the pattern grid set to craftable only, so I can see what patterns are actually in here and what is craftable. And if you want, you can use this and say, oh, leave this to normal and say, oh, I need to craft this. Let's go up here and we can craft from this menu, which is kind of nice. I like it says last modified 2 minutes ago by ChosenArchitect. Kind of nice. That's a new feature. I don't remember that being a part of this. So I can tell some things have changed. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and as always, thanks for watching.